All right, here we go.
1, 2, 1. Well, I'ma go to the mountain top and I'ma gonna see everything they got. Hear every sound, they see every time I can.
All right, here we are, Lincoln Woods. Start of our Pemi Loop, Thursday, July 14th. Rafa, Graybeard, Gadget, Mile Back, Lincoln Woods. Day 1, Lincoln Woods to Geo campsite. So we'll go up over the 2 bonds. Probably dump our stuff at Geo and go up and do, I think it's West Bond. And weather seems to be decent. We've been waiting for this thing for over a year now. Decided against it last year to get a little experience under our belt. We'll see if we got enough. So here we go. Pemigewasset Wilderness and surrounding area. This is the loop we'll be taking. We're going counterclockwise, so up Lincoln Woods to Bond Cliff Trail, up to Geo. That's today. Tomorrow, up to Garfield. Saturday to Liberty Springs, and then Sunday back to here. If all goes well, fingers crossed. Nice stuff. In 1.4, this is where the Osseo Trail goes left to up to Flume and Liberty. We'll be coming down that way. We're camping at Liberty Springs on Sunday, so we'll stay to the right here. We're going counterclockwise up over the bonds, and beautiful day. The sun's shining. We're under the canopy, but the sun is shining, and we're off to a good start. It is a nice long flat trek to get going here, but not a bad chance to get loose. When you say Mile Back?
Yes, need to
Get
loose.
those old bones going. Rafa, what do you think? So the Pemi River. I really don't want to go crazy getting out there too far, but pretty nice.
Just over 5 miles in, moving right along here, almost 10:30. Starting to gain a little elevation. Looks like we're going up from here.
So we're about halfway in, I guess, about 6 miles. It's 11.9 to Geo. It's been not bad. We have started to climb. So definitely a little tougher, but nothing outrageous. In fact, we got a little downhill now, so it's been pretty reasonable. Scary thing is it seems like most of the effort on this thing is going to be in the last few miles, so I guess you can take anything in small doses, right? We'll just keep plugging along. This is a nice spot here. Nobody knows where we really are. Again, just 6 and change.
All right, almost 7 miles in. Heading up to Mount Bond. Pit stop at Bond Cliff. Just passed a couple other hikers. They did a 4-night, 5-day trip. So they're ending today at Lincoln Woods. So we got a steady climbing. ahead of us for the next 2 miles. Something like this.
About 8.5 in. Should be within a mile of Bond Cliff. Starting to get rockier. It's been climbing for a while. It's not brutal stuff, but it just keeps going, right?
Yeah. Up.
We just had a place where 3 or 4 sets of stairs, and again, not tough to navigate, but whew, we're doing some climbing now. It just keeps coming. Very little in the way of switchbacks and flat areas, but we should be less than a mile to Bond Cliff, but it's going to take a little while.
Coming up to the first little scenic view. Let me just show you what it is. And here we are.
First time it's opened up.
A little foggy on top. All right, almost to Bond Cliff. Non-stop, straight up. It's pretty tough. Graybeard's on his way here with Rafa. And we've pretty much been going up this for the last mile. So it's a ball buster. Here we are, and Simon says, go up the rocks. Time to do a little climbing.
So finally, summit of Bond Cliff. We won't be able to do the awesome photo op that everybody does up here because it is completely socked in. It's yeah, there'll be no return trip. Mileback is digging into a bag of what?
Rice and
chicken. Gadget's been here for about 2 hours. He's already eaten, thrown his leftovers away, which Rafa tore up. Rafa's had her lunch, and I am waiting on some boiling water, which I think is boiling.
All right, Bond Cliff with the boys. A little foggy.
Leaving Bond Cliff, a little disappointed we didn't get better photos. But yeah, into the abyss. So here we go over to Mount Bond. Been a mad dash for Geo campsite to get set up before the nasty weather comes in. So Mount Bond. Again, no views, but for me, I think this makes 13, lucky 13, and Rafa, I believe, number 10. Good girl, Rafa. Gonna get moving because it's getting pretty ugly out here. So a new experience for the boys from Just Go Backpacking. First time we've set up in one of these campsites in the White Mountains. And we're on a platform. Gadget's got his, which tent is this? I mean, which hammock?
This is the Blackbird XLC with the hammock gear, Cuban fiber tarp, and hammock gear underquilt and top quilts.
Well, how about that? How about that? So Mr. High End is having more of a challenge than usual because everything is just really tight quarters. They're gonna jam a lot of people in here tonight, so they put us in a very small footprint. And the great thing, one way you know we're VIPs, is right there is the toilet. And I believe they're burning human waste up there. I hope they do that 24/7 because that would be really nice. to help the wilderness experience. So I have Big Aggie here set up the Fairview 2. Big Agnes Fairview 2. And then if I can get around, and if I can't, we're going to make some excellent video. Mileback's got the Eureka Solitaire, which you'll see a review on our site. It's been one of our more popular videos, so you can see we tried to squeeze it in case somebody else needed a spot, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So this is the morning after. We had one hell of a storm last night. Fortunately, by all accounts, we all stayed dry once we got inside the tents, but we had to hunker down in the cooking area for 2 hours at least. So we cooked and we shivered for a while, and we have some sun creeping through. So we're gonna head up to the cook area, eat. It's about 6:45, so we're gonna go up and eat and go up and hit West Bond and then start the day. The original plan was to hit West Bond on yesterday afternoon, but just as we were about to go up and do it, it just let loose, so we had to put it off to today.
All right, we got day 2 here. Gio shelter right up there. Graybeard over here filtering water. Rafa trying to behave. Beer boxes. Some Boy Scouts up here having at it. Ryan's down that trail over by the privy.
Dishwash area there. Yeah. Come down the trail here so we can spin around and show you. We're at the campsite area there, the shelter behind it. Head down towards the privy. Show you where our campsite was last night. As you can see, there's more down there. If you can get the view from out there, a lot clearer than yesterday. Still some chances of showers, but we're hoping to maybe beat those. So. Come down the trail here at this little fork. We stayed down there. We'll go take a look at the campsite in a minute, but we got the privy up there. I'll give you a little detailed view of it. This can be a little tricky to do at night, even in a headlamp when you're half asleep, but luckily for us, they promote peeing in the woods. As you can see, excessive liquid makes composting very difficult. Please pee in the woods, not in the outhouse. So, let's take a look. That is how you flush right there, the bark, by throwing it down the toilet into the nice little compost bin. Always make sure that when you are done, you lock it so the door is not banging for everyone else.
All right, day 2. Heading out to West Bond. Couldn't get it last night because of some weather that came in. Some torrential downpours. Ended up sleeping underneath a water fountain or a set of falls. So we're headed up to West Bond right now.
Good morning, West Bond. Wasn't a piece of cake. We had no packs, but get the blood moving. Yeah. Unbelievable stuff. So now I know why I was tired. After about 9 miles we hit that, and then we came across here, and at about 10 miles we hit that. So I don't even want to think about the fact that we want to go around there and up to there and up to there, and who knows. Best not to think about it, I guess. So number 11 for Rafa, number 14 for Graybeard. Nice job, Rafa.
All right, here's the true summit. Give you a little look around. Hold on, Rafa. This is just unbelievable out here compared to yesterday when we couldn't see anything at all.
We won't mention any of that.
So we just came across our first through hiker, although I think there was one sleeping in the shelter last night. But what's your name?
Claudia.
What's your trail name? You have a trail name?
Van Dam.
Van Dam. So she's how many miles in? Like
About 800.
oh, that's right. She's flip-flopping, so she's about 800 miles in, and we're gonna probably lose her in about 2 seconds, so we won't hike with her very far.
Probably not a good time to put down the poles either. And there it is, the Pemi Loop. On top of the world, baby.
Top of Mount Gio. Amazing views. You don't hear about Gio much because it's not on the official list. But nice spot. Wind is howling. So that's West Pond right there. Yeah, so we came up just from there, which on film looks awesome. It's not that far. And of course we came up over those suckers, and they are far. So, and it felt like it. But the weather's pretty good. At least we got some views today. Back led the way up here, and now I think the next mountain is, well, we're not going to hit Zealand, but we're going to go by Zealand Trail. I don't think we're going to actually see a mountain officially until South Twin, right? Just a little ways from Gio, we've got, we're going to finally step on the AT. So if you look elsewhere in the channel, you'll see a bunch of AT videos. We're kind of tackling the 48 New Hampshire and just pecking away very small chunks of the AT, but we're about to embark on another AT hike, mile back. I forget, do you remember how many miles it is of it? It's a decent chunk.
11 point something.
Yeah, so 10 or 11, something like that. So we'll be able to yellow highlight the AWOL book a little bit more. So you'll see some of that on the AT videos.
Just got by Gio. Heading out towards Garfield. Finally jumped on the Appalachian Trail. And it's looking very familiar. A lot of walking planks. Thank God. Moving right along. Heading up to South Twin.
So, big mistake. I think we all forgot to film on South Twin. So just imagine if you look up past Mile Back, South Twin, it looks a lot like all the other ones we showed you. But South Twin is 15 for me. For Rafa, 12. For Gadget,
8.
And what did that make for you, Mile Back? 7. Well, this is the very unscenic summit of Galehead Mountain. So this is just a half-mile off the trail. Not too bad. A little bit steep at the beginning, but then it gets pretty mellow. But no view, just short of the view, not even a tenth of the mile from the top. There is an outlook with a spectacular view. Just a gorgeous view. But right now, all we have is the view of Mile Back up on the summit with Rafa. Ooh, so what is it? We think that's South Twin right there, Ryan?
Yeah,
I think so.
that is
Yes.
South Twin. That's what came down.
Wow,
Yeah.
we're awesome, aren't we? So this is the outlook right before the summit of Galehead Mountain. So beautiful view for a mountain with no view at the summit. There's a great view here, and that's the Galehead Hut. So if you want to drop 100 or so a night, they'll give you breakfast and dinner and a bed. Meet a lot of people, and it's a nice way to do it because you can travel light. If you want to come up here just come up one day, hit this peak, stay the night, and then go down in the morning, it'd be pretty manageable hike. So Galehead Hut, some kitchen. You can buy t-shirts if you want. This is pretty cool.
Some rockstar hikers.
You can meet rockstar hikers. That's the ladies' room, the men's room. Where's the sleeping quarters? Some sleeping quarters here. Here, a bunch of bunks. Hey. And some more bunks. Pretty cool. Well, this will not do it justice, but we just climbed up this waterfall. A little bit scary, to be honest with you, but it was pretty cool to get it done. But a lot of hands and knees and hoping the pack doesn't get away from you. So day 3, Pemi Loop. Hopefully I have high-speed photography so we can capture Nelson's hike, because as fast as it started, he's threatening to end it. So you'll have to watch the end of this episode to see what happens. So Garfield Ridge, Garfield campsite, day 3, Pemi Loop. The boys from Just Go Backpacking. I'm Graybeard, that's Mile Back. There's Gadget, and there's possibly probationary Spikes. Right now, a lot depends on the next half hour or so.
Regulators, mount up.
Garfield Ridge campsite last night. Beautiful night's sleep.
Yeah, I heard.
The boys are packing up. We're getting ready to head on out.
It commences as usual, last guys out of camp. Probably our greatest weakness is we are terrible getting out of camp. I blame everybody but myself. So day 3, Garfield campsite to Liberty Springs campsite. Should be the greatest views of the trip. At least the last check the weather was supposed to be good, but you never know on the ridge. 7.5 or so miles. Take it nice and slow. Nelson's lost already. Is there a way out over there too? And we were like, I mean, everything you do is hard. Did anyone get video?
Garfield, here we are. How you liking this?
I only got it
Little foggy.
Look like lo mein. Not no chow mein.
Boys over here chatting with Rafa.
That's what being his kind of high is like. Regular high, you might get a little here. Yeah. Looks like he had a tusk.
They clear on radar.
Already killed too much time. We're clear on radar? So just still plugging away on the trail between Garfield and Lafayette. I don't know, a total of a couple miles so far. I think we're still probably a couple miles from the summit of Lafayette, and it's, I'm sure, going to be a lot of climbing because we've gone down again. All these mountains seem to bring you down before they bring you up.
We're about to begin our ascent of Lafayette. Let's look at it. Up there. Up in the clouds. It's going to be an interesting climb.
Heading up to Lafayette.
Now,
For the love of God, this peak the Spikes is leading us to better be the true legit. Number one, we're at the top. Bag it, tag it, head to the campground peak. Because if it's not, I don't know, I might have a meltdown. This was not it.
I think this is the fifth summit.
This is the fifth fall summit. I can see a path. I can see darkness. Here we go. There she blows. Hopefully. Go ahead, Rafa. We got a little bump here. Another little bump. And then hopefully a summit. We don't know what we have on either side of us other than some shrubbery. So we trudge on. YouTube! There is the final summit. You can see Franconia Ridge maybe in the distance. You can see people making their way off of the top of it. They may have came up the smart way. Couple people up at the summit. I see signs. We all know how much I love my freaking signs. So they generally tell you that you've made it somewhere. So here we go. Wish the weather would cooperate, but we'll give you what we can from the top. Oh man, so as we are approaching the summit, look at this, YouTube. Look at this. They're freaking, someone's appreciated us. Someone loves us. Someone is really happy that Spike's over here stuck with it.
That is the best thing I've seen the whole week.
There's a hut, there's someone's dang parking lot. I don't even know if you're gonna be able to hear me because of this wind.
I saw that. That's a view.
So, we'll see what we can get you from the peak.
all right,
Chill out.
Lafayette. I think about 5,300 feet. Now the weather's helping us out a little bit. We just bounced off of Lafayette and heading over to Lincoln. And we're getting a break in the weather here. And this is just amazing, spectacular scenery, man. That's Lincoln right in front of us. Yeah, unless that one has some false summits. I'm not sure. But I don't think it does.
I don't want to hear you're not sure you've been this way.
When I did this one, we did it because it was close by and we thought it was going to be easy. I couldn't walk for 4 days. Well, hopefully the Sony HDR-AS 200 is picking this up, because that's tremendous right there, folks. Wow, that's Greenleaf Hut down there. Beautiful, beautiful. Handsome hikers coming up too. Some guys that are clearly doing this in one day. Good job. Wow. It's spectacular. What a beautiful spot. You can see all the hikers coming down off of Lincoln. Came off the ridge from Lafayette. This is a very, very popular hiking loop hike. You can come up, I think it's Falling Waters Trail, and down. That's good, thank you.
Sorry.
So Mount Lincoln, came back off of the Lafayette Ridge here. This is Franconia Ridge, one of the more popular hiking spots up in the White Mountains. So there's a lot of people up here. The weather, I think, below is beautiful. It's just up here we're in the clouds, but it's still not bad. Well, at least we get views now. You can see Lincoln is socked in, but out here is just beautiful, beautiful place. I mean, I don't know where you could see something like that. So for Rafa, I think it's 16. I'm probably getting these numbers wrong, but I've done this one in the past, so I didn't gain anything here. But after this, we will hit Liberty and Flume for a couple more of the 48 4,000 footers. Walk here. This is off of Lincoln, heading over to Little Haystack. Just probably a couple miles from Liberty Springs campsite. I'm thinking that pointy summit out in front, right over Mileback's head, is probably Liberty. Then maybe that other pointy one might be Flume. And those will be the two we'll hit tomorrow. We're gonna camp somewhere, I'm thinking, fairly close to the summit of Liberty. And then we'll hit those two tomorrow on the way out. This is the best views of the week, and really the best sustained weather. Up on Lafayette it was all fogged in, but this has been the clearest it's been all week. Alright, so Little Haystack, I think just a couple miles to go, and we'll be off this bad boy. Lots of people up here. So Liberty Springs Trail 1.8, I don't know what that means, but that's where we're headed.
Check out the view. And that might be the end of the view. And on these clouds. It's pretty cool though. You see the ridge line going and going and going. We're going to continue on that, I believe. And it's nuts. Came down from that summit pretty quick. Just want to get rolling here, get to camp. So we're coming up the ridge right now. It's pretty cool. Pretty nice scenes out in the valley. I don't know if you can see it through the cloud cover. It's kind of hitting the mountain and coming right up it. So that's pretty cool looking too. So, wow, look at that right there. Walking the ridge, so same views that you've been seeing, and Spike's still leading the way. Got Mileback dropping poles back there. Rafa, Graybeard coming too. Myself, Gadget. We're just, I think we have about 2.5 miles, a little over 2.5 miles maybe to camp. Hoping to get there by like 6 so we can get set up, have a little leisure dinner, and kind of relax our last night out here. So we'll keep you posted. The ridge walk is incredible. It's so cool up here.
So this is the scene at Liberty Springs tent site. It looks like Central Park on a Saturday afternoon. And we got here just in time for the last couple of spots, which we're actually going to have to camp in the food area after everybody eats. So which is good, because there's probably not too many mice and bears coming into that place. So should be good. We didn't have lunch today, and so Marbach's plowing down some beef stroganoff and some beef stew. And Gadget's got the huge concoction of every calorie he could fit in his bag.
Alright folks, we're here at Liberty Springs campsite. I'll show you where we end up having to go. I literally kind of sprinted ahead and got the last 4 sites. But this little segment is for those of you wondering how we get water off the trail. So, this is my Sawyer bag. This nice spring down here. I'm just going to go ahead and let that fill. And I'll show you the next step. So now we have a big bag full of cold spring water. I happen to use the Sawyer Squeeze. Some of Doug here uses, or Mile back here uses the Sawyer Mini. What we're going to do is hand tighten that. Take one of our Smart Water bottles, which happen to be one of the most popular out there. Pop our cap open. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Cap actually fits right in there. With some slight squeezing.
Okay, so see you in a couple days.
Alright, here we are, leaving Liberty Springs.
Yeah, sure. Take care.
Spikes is going to go ahead and take the trail down. It's a little hazardous to make the 7.5 miles. Best of luck to you, Spikes. We'll talk to you later. And we're off. Alright, we're still on our way out of Liberty Springs. It says 0.3 miles to camp. And when you're running down this hill after a long hike, you're like, this is awesome. As usual, coming back out of camp just to get back to the trail. A little bit of a warm up on the legs. So, now that we've made it up those 0.3 miles out of camp, we have another 0.3 miles to Mount Liberty. It is at this point right here that we are leaving the Appalachian Trail and pursuing on the Franconia Ridge Trail. Starting to see a little bit of daylight here. It's always positive until I think I can see the peak behind us, and we still have a little bit of work cut out for us. Oh yeah, indeed. You can kind of see it there in the distance. So we still have a little bit left. No. We're up in the Alpine Zone. We have about half a tenth left to go to the summit. A little rocky. Not a completely bad ascent. Holy shnikes. Really foggy up here again. Doesn't matter. We're on our way to burgers, so don't really care. So this is just one of the coolest views that we've seen right there. You have the clouds rolling up and over. Just looks fierce all the way around us. As far as you can see, just mountains sticking out of the clouds. This is just can't even explain it. Just incredible.
to the top of Liberty, but we had to stop for this view. Wow!
Fierce all the way around us. As far as you can see, just mountains sticking out of the clouds. Wow. Just can't even explain it. It's incredible.
Oh, I got a couple nice.
Top of Mount Liberty, 18th 4,000 footer for Graybeard, and for Rafa, number 17, the hiking wonder dog.
Number 12.
Mile back, 12, a dozen.
12. I'm counting right today.
All right, we made pretty good time here. We have to go hit Flume.
Last day on top of Flume. Gadget and Graybeard up there, moving right along. Rafa up the front. Last day on a 4-day Pemi Loop. And it's just beautiful up here.
Mount Flume. So Rafa hits 18. Graybeard hits 19.
Home, Lincoln.
To the bar.
Yeah. That's it for the 4Ks for this trip. I just wrapped Flume. We are now motivated by burgers and beer.
So just chugging down Osseo Trail off the backside of Flume Mountain. And I think we're maybe a mile and a half or so from the junction with Lincoln Woods Trail, which you probably will have seen some of the trail on the way in is just a very flat mile and a half walking path back to the parking lot. So a lot of the heavy lifting's done. And we're highly motivated by some food and beer.
You know how much I love signage. Signage equals accomplishment. Right there, Lincoln Woods Trail, 4.1 miles. From there we have a short little bit of a hop down some railroad ties that we showed you coming in. And we're in Burgerville. Just under 4 miles, going strong. That's what the trail looks like heading down to Lincoln Woods. A nice little set of stairs here. I don't know what that's all about. A little flooding at the bottom. Still making our descent. It's not that bad today. Definitely rather be descending this than what we came up day one. Based on our math, we are less than a mile from the nice gracious walk on the former logging rail there. Still trucking along. Pass not bad. Graybeard a mile back behind us. We're not exactly sure the status of our special guest that you saw up here in the video, Spikes. He was making his way down to the base of a parking lot and trying to get a ride back to his place, so we will wait upon notification from him that he's safely at his car before we leave New Hampshire. But just trying to get this thing wrapped up. Morale is high right now. Looks like we're coming up to the intersection that we've been waiting for. The intersection that we passed Thursday morning. On our way into the madness, we have it. Hoping that it's kind of wishing this is what the whole trail looked like the whole way. I know my body doesn't even know what to do right now. My legs can't figure out why I'm not walking up or down a mountain, why I'm on a flat, nice smooth surface almost. So we'll get this thing wrapped up. Well, it was the bridge that began it. It's the bridge that's ending it. We got Graybeard. We got Mile back, way back there. Myself, Gadget. We got Rafa. Give you one final view. And remind you, anyone can do this. Just get out there. Just get that backpack on. And
Just go backpacking.
1, 2, 1. Well, I'ma go to the mountaintop and I'ma gonna see everything they got.